In the following video, Kyle was filming, talking excitedly about publishing his upcoming horror novel, when something happened that instantly shifted the tone. Watch.
Two agents, they got enough formation. Holy shit. That just opened by itself. Okay. Yo. That just opened. It just opened by itself. We're gonna... And this broke. This broke. Okay, maybe that's for the best. Oh. That scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. That string broke. Well, that's just fine because I'm never going up there again.
That door leading to the attic? It's the same attic where he's captured strange figures, unexplained bangs, footsteps pacing above his room, and even whispering voices when no one else was home. So when the door creaked open behind him in the middle of his recording, many viewers became convinced it wasn't a coincidence at all, that something up there was inviting him, or trying to get his attention. Others, meanwhile, are eagerly waiting for his book, especially because they know his stories aren't just fiction. A lot of them are based on real events, things he has personally lived through in that house. People are already speculating about which moments he'll write about, and how he managed to cope with everything he's been experiencing. But until Kyle gives an update, or until the release of that book, this remains yet another unsettling moment in a house that refuses to stay quiet. Now, in this next video, a woman named Monica Monch, who works after hours in an office building that's completely empty at night, holidays, and weekends, has been experiencing something she can no longer brush off. One night, while she was doing her usual rounds, this happened.
I'm at work. I'm the only person here. And I'm here. Oh my god, I'm scared. The scary movie says you don't go see what's going on. But what the I'm gonna lose my goddamn shit. Okay, I'm gonna die.
A voice said, "What are you thinking?" even though she was the only one in the entire building. And then there was the toy she picked up to inspect, thinking maybe it had batteries, but it didn't. It only makes noise if someone physically touches it. Yet in the video, it activates all on its own, as if an invisible hand was playing with it right next to her. This clip has caused a huge debate online. Some people are convinced Monica is dealing with something otherworldly, something intelligent. To them, a voice responding directly to her and a toy working on its own feels far too specific and intentional to dismiss as coincidence. And with the security guards reportedly hearing similar things, many believe whatever's in that office isn't just passing through, it's trying to communicate. But it's hard not to wonder if Monica has become the center of something she was never meant to notice. Until she shares more footage, this case remains a mystery. Now, this next video comes from a woman who recently ended things with her boyfriend, but according to her, the breakup didn't end the story. In fact, she believes it only made things worse. She claims her ex had something dark attached to him, something his family openly acknowledged. And once she heard them speak about it so casually, so normally, that's when she started connecting the dots. All the strange wiring issues in his house, the unexplained noises, the way objects moved on their own. She began to realize these weren't random incidents. They were signs of whatever the family had been living with for years. And then came the night captured in this clip, filmed while she and her ex were separated.
It's just something. What?
This wasn't the first time something happened, and definitely not the worst. She later talked about an incident involving his sister. One morning, the sister woke up to find her puppy dead, and every single plant in her house completely withered overnight. And when she herself was still living with her boyfriend, she experienced nights where the entire atmosphere of the house would change. Sharp cold spots appearing out of nowhere, doors creaking open even after she locked them, and shadows moving in corners where there was nowhere for shadows to be. Some nights, she said, it felt like something was walking from room to room, checking on them. And now that she's out of the relationship, she believes whatever was attached to the family has turned its attention toward her. Many call it a jumper, something that doesn't just haunt a single house or a single person, but moves. It attaches itself to whoever comes close enough, feeding off the conflict, the stress, the emotional chaos, and following them even after they leave. Whether it's because she spent years around it, or because it chose her, she doesn't know. But based on this footage and everything she's described, it seems like whatever was haunting that family isn't quite done with her yet. In this next video, two friends were at home, hanging out and playing games when they started noticing strange things. It started in the hallway, something that made both of them glance up from their game even though neither wanted to admit they saw it. Moments later, the chair in their room suddenly moved on its own, and that's when it hit them. Whatever they sensed in the hallway, it didn't stay there. People online are divided about what exactly was happening here. Whatever was in that hallway was watching them, reacting to them, and eventually stepping into the room with them. So, was it something intelligent, or something that simply didn't want to stay in the hallway anymore? You decide. The following footage was recorded on the first floor of West Hill Manor in Burlington County, a location already known for its long history of strange encounters. According to the group investigating the home that night, every single person was on the third floor when this happened. No one was downstairs, no one was even close. Watch closely. If you look toward the doorway on the right, you'll see it, a strange mist drifting across the frame. And then, just seconds later, a loud bang was heard from the third floor. This is where things get interesting. It almost looks like the mist moves upward, as though whatever it was slipped out of the first floor doorway and traveled straight to where the sound happened. Many viewers immediately connected the two events, suggesting that the mist wasn't random environmental interference at all, but an apparition transitioning between floors. Some believe this might be a spirit that's aware of the investigators and is trying to make its presence known by traveling through the house and manipulating its surroundings. But the biggest question remains, was this mist responsible for the bang, or did it go upstairs because of the bang, as though reacting to something else entirely? Either way, the timing is too close to be ignored. Whatever moved through that doorway wasn't supposed to be there, and it definitely wasn't ordinary. I'd love to know what you think about this one. In this next clip, Ruger's mom was lying in bed when the strangest thing happened, something she genuinely couldn't explain later. Take a look at this, and listen closely.
Okay.
Her mom is clearly reaching out into the darkness, waving as if she's responding to someone standing right beside the bed. And if you listen closely, you'll hear a soft voice whispering, "Mama." According to Ruger, that voice sounds exactly like her sister's voice, the sister who passed away back in 2017. This is where the debate really begins. Some viewers believe this was a moment of comforting visitation, that her late sister might have been reaching out, maybe checking on their mother, and the mother somehow sensed her presence. They point out that the mother's reaction seemed gentle, not startled. Others believe this could be something entirely different, something mimicking the sister's voice. Mimics are known for using familiar voices to draw attention or interaction, especially during vulnerable moments like sleep. The way her mom reached out without hesitation makes some people wonder if something wanted her to respond. Then there's the idea of sleep state sensitivity, where people in half-dream, half-awake moments are more open to the supernatural. Some say her mom could have been in a liminal state, aware enough to react, but relaxed enough to perceive things most people wouldn't. But I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. Now, in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his deep dive into one of Nebraska's most notoriously haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. And this time, the moment he stepped into one particular room, something sent him running. This wasn't just any room, it's the one rumored to be haunted by the spirit of a woman guests claim likes to brush against people while they sleep, almost as if she's checking whether they're awake or if they're alone. Even Ian, who has seen more than most of us ever will, couldn't stand the room, but after catching his breath, he went back in.
There is proof that this hotel is ridiculously haunted. Alright, I should at least shut it off, shouldn't I? Don't want to waste the water. Oh god, okay. Don't mind me. Coming in. The freaking beat scared me. I'm sorry, bud. I'm gonna have to cut you off here. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? I am speechless. I don't even know what to say. Other than I'm leaving a freaking camera in here. And I'm getting out of Dodge. That's all I know. Thank you. Alright, so I've got a spirit box here. I'm gonna walk around this whole entire floor and see if I can get any responses.
He spoke calmly, trying to communicate, trying to see if whatever was there would respond. A few moments later, he suddenly began hearing something.
Whoever's responsible for the phantom music in here, I'd love to hear some more of it. Could you place them in this room? Why is that spinning? Wait a minute, that thing wasn't even on. Why is it spinning? What the heck? Dude, this thing is freaking spinning on its own. And you can tell it's not even on because look at it, it's slowing down. Oh, what the heck? That is so freaking bizarre. And now look. It completely stopped. How do you explain that? Like, legit, like what just happened? If this fan was on, it would literally be spinning continuously. And if you look, let's see, are the switches on? Nope, they're both down. So what the heck just happened there? Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell was that? Dude, this room is crazy active. Those other rooms were completely silent, but this room, not this room. What the heck was that?
Every minute he spends inside this hotel keeps pointing to the same conclusion. This place isn't just haunted, it's active. And whatever's in that room seems more than willing to let him know he isn't alone. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was captured by Sarah and her friend Sean when they went to check out an abandoned building nobody in town goes near anymore. Watch this.
Hello? Was that your stomach? Was it?
No.
It wasn't?
No.
Baby, stop. No, it wasn't.
That was not my...
What the fuck? What the fuck is it? Are you sure?
I'm not kidding.
Okay. We didn't even shut the door. That's okay. You promise though?
Yes.
It sounded like a... Right? It sounded like it was right next to us.
It sounded like hello.
Yeah, and it sounded like it was right next to us. Okay. Just one more time. You promise that wasn't your stomach?
Baby, yes.
I mean, I heard you right after go. Alright, well, we got what we came for. I've never ran from something so fast in my life. Wait, I've been recording.
You'll notice the entity replied instantly and knocked back when they knocked, and when they said hello, a voice responded. They didn't waste any time. They rushed out of there, their nerves completely shot. But what they found out afterward made their brief encounter even more chilling. Locals later told them that years ago, the building had been used as a boarding house, and that one of the tenants, a man who lived in the upper floor, was rumored to have died inside after being isolated and neglected. People say he spent his last days knocking on the walls, trying to get someone's attention, but no one ever came. Hearing that, Sarah and Sean couldn't shake the feeling that the knocks they heard weren't random creaks of an old building, but the desperate echo of someone still trying to answer back after all these years. Which makes you wonder, did they walk away from just another abandoned structure, or from a place where someone's voice is still waiting to be heard? Now, in this next clip, a man is describing the strange occurrences that have been plaguing his house when something else turns up on camera. Watch closely.
I've lived in this house for probably close to a year now, and I've never had anything happen here. I've never once thought that there was any kind of like haunting stuff going on or ghosts or anything like that. Until a couple weeks ago when I was given kind of a strange gift. I am really into like spooky decor, funeral home stuff, like all that. I love it. But a friend of mine messaged me and was like, hey, I'm at this estate sale and they have like all this funeral home stuff. Do you want any of it? They had an actual like embalming table, which I really wanted, but they were asking way too much money for it. They had all these old bottles and stuff like that. And I said, just give me something. And they ended up getting me these like lab grade like test tube things. And these are like legit Pyrex brand, like super high quality glass, right? Came from a funeral home. So I'm totally into it, right? So I bring them in the house, I clean them up, and I don't quite know where I'm going to put them yet.
While he's mid-story, trying to explain the late-night noises and the odd chills, there's a figure standing just behind the door. Then, in a blink, it's gone. People jump to conclusions fast, calling it a malevolent presence, and it's easy to see why. The man had recently bought a handful of odd items at an estate sale, stuff that came from a closed funeral home. He chalked it up to quirky decor at first, but the soundscape around his house changed after that. Those delicate, high-pitched glass noises you get when a thin crystal or a lamp edge is tapped. A quick tinkle, a soft chime, the kind of clink that makes you turn your head. He'll hear those tiny glass notes echo through the night, check the room, and everything sits exactly where it should. He's no stranger to spooky decor, he collects the macabre on purpose, but even he says this is different. The items arrived silent, the house didn't. Now, with a shadow appearing in the doorway while he talks about it, the line between coincidence and something far darker feels dangerously thin. So, was that a trick of light, a camera artifact, or something that shouldn't be in his house at all? You decide. The lady in the next clip woke up at 4:19 a.m. by the sound of something heavy hitting the floor, a crash that made her heart pound. But when she got up to look, there was nothing out of place. She'd had a recent scare. Someone tried the front door a few nights earlier, so she didn't want to dismiss it. She pulled up the footage from the cameras she'd installed after the near break-in, and this is what she found. Watch. When she posted the clip, a few viewers suggested poltergeist-style activity, objects thrown or toppled by an unseen force when tensions or emotions are high in a home. She wants this to be a one-off, and she's already told close family it's probably nothing and that she'll double-check the hooks. But she also admits she sleeps with a lamp on now and checks the locks twice. So what do you think? Something to overlook, or something that shouldn't be dismissed that easily? I'll leave this one with you. This next clip was captured by another friendly ghost believer who claims the ghost haunting her house actually listens to her. Watch this.
So guys, my door. There's a ghost in my room and it closes my door. It's gonna be a while, but you're gonna see it. Come on, close it. You're almost there. Close my door. Close it. No, I don't want you to open it. Close it. Just close it already. Do it. Come on. I do not have all fucking day. Close it so I can go to sleep. Thank you, I guess.
Several people brushed it off as coincidence, but she insists otherwise. She says there are moments when she asks the ghost to stop slamming doors or to turn the lights back off, and to her surprise, it does. Sometimes it even feels like the activity changes depending on her mood, calmer when she's calm, louder when she's upset, almost as if it's responding to her. But isn't there a reason the words ghost and haunting are so often paired together? The very word haunting suggests something unsettling, a presence that lingers where it doesn't belong. Still, there are those who believe not all hauntings are meant to frighten. Some say spirits can linger out of attachment, sarmi, to a person, a place, or even a routine. And in those cases, they might not be hostile at all. They might even try to coexist in their own strange way. Others argue that what seems friendly could be a trick, pointing out that a presence that starts off harmless may shift over time, wearing down trust before revealing darker intentions. So, would you welcome a presence like this, or would you be looking for a way out? Now, this next video is about a man who believes his late wife's ghost is haunting him, and he claims he has several CCTV footage to prove it. Watch this.
Guys, this is just a quick update because I gotta get to work. But when I got up this morning to get my coffee, I walked into the kitchen and saw this. So I guess you guys were right that activity seems to be picking up because I have been, doing renovations. I replaced all this stuff, this dishwasher, this stove, the oven hood there. But this morning when I came into the kitchen, I noticed the cabinet was open, and then I noticed this chair. So I checked the Ring video, and it definitely...
If it really is her, then it seems she doesn't approve of the new renovations he's made around the house. But that's not the only thing he's had to deal with. He says the TV sometimes switches to her favorite shows late at night, no matter what channel he leaves it on. He's found picture frames of them together moved to the floor, almost as if someone didn't want them displayed. And more than once, he's woken up to the faint scent of her perfume lingering in their bedroom, even though the bottle has been empty for years. At first, he thought it might have been comforting, like she was still with him. But now, with things being knocked over, lights flickering every time he talks about moving forward, and shadows caught on his cameras, it's starting to wear him down. So the real question is, if this truly is his wife's spirit, how does he find peace without feeling like he's abandoning her memory? And if it isn't her, then what exactly is haunting him, and how does he ever escape it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. The following clip was recorded by a woman who runs a cleaning business and spent the day at a mansion where the previous owners said every cat in the house had died in the same room. While she worked, she noticed a tiny movement just out of the corner of her eye, and at one point, a shadow that didn't match anything in the room. She shook it off because the work had to be done, but the house lingered with her. That night, after she left and tried to sleep, the nightmares began. She woke from a shallow dream of tiny paw prints crossing her kitchen floor and of a cramped, filthy room where something small and frightened tapped at a window that would never open. When she told friends, they chalked it up to the day's stress, until the next job proved otherwise.
Oigan, ¿qué es eso de allí? No sé qué sea. ¿Escuchan? Se escucha como si golpearan la pared. Oigan, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué podrá ser? No sé si logran escuchar. Aquí ya me han apagado la luz anteriormente. Me da miedo pasar por el pasillo. ¿Escucharon? Flow. Ay, no. Ya me quiero ir, estoy esperando la ropa, ya me quiero ir. Se está escuchando muchísimos ruidos. Escucha que gritan. ¿Qué será? Voy a poner la segunda parte. Se están escuchando muchísimas voces. Me tengo que ir.
The next job she had was at a house where the owner took his own life, and as she finished cleaning, she saw something strange.
Si a donde te acabas de mudar te espantan, has vivido o estás viviendo en un apartamento, miren chicos, esos dedos también se mira como marca de dedos. Es increíble cómo va a ser esa marca ahí si ya limpiamos. Además se ve como que si se hubiera agarrado de allá arriba. No puedo creerlo. Es que ya aquí prácticamente ya se terminó. Nada más es recoger eso y vámonos. Ya vámonos, güey. ¿Escuchaste la puerta? Ya vámonos. Sí. Ahorita te ayudo ahí. Sí. ¿Escuchaste cómo se escuchó la puerta? Sí. Ya nada más nos falta terminar aquí para irnos. ¿Miraste la mano que se quedó en el refri? Está de arriba. Así que, sí, ahí arriba. Ponme un comentario si donde vives espantan. No, ya nos vamos a ir. O sabes que haya pasado algún crimen, algo malo, ponme un comentario.
The handprint was too small to be an adult's, and she'd cleaned every surface with bleach and steam. Nothing should have been left behind. People who follow her videos say her job makes her vulnerable, and that the work forces her into intimate spaces filled with memory, lies, and stale emotions. Luckily, she's found a way to protect herself, so taking anything home is not something she's worried about anymore. Now, in this next clip, the popular ghost hunter Ian continued his exploration at a cemetery near Timberlake Road with stories about the woman in white who lost her entire family in a single day and, unable to cope, ended her own life. As he walked deeper through the quiet street, he eventually found the cemetery where her family was laid to rest. And that's when things started happening.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That freaking sounds like children in there. I keep hearing like high-pitched voices. Hello? Ghostly children? Is that you I'm hearing? I definitely have the feeling that I am not alone in here. I am just waiting for something to pop out at me. Hello? Oh my god! Oh god, what the hell was that now? Freaking sounded like something rustling over here in one of these bushes. I mean, it could be an animal, to be fair. Hello? Oh, dude! That was a freaking child's voice again! I'm getting freaked out already. I just barely entered this place.
At first, Ian pulled out his spirit box to try and open a line of communication, but before he could even focus on the static voices, something else caught his eye.
How old are you? What was that? What was that? Holy moly, something just flew by that freaking tree over there. Oh my god, what the heck was that? Hello?
A pale shape drifted just out of view, gone before he could get a clear look. And then, by one of the graves, he noticed something strange. A ball, perfectly still on the ground. Ian swore it wasn't there moments earlier, but as he raised his camera to take a few pictures, what he saw left him absolutely stunned.
Little boy or little girl, whoever you are, could you move this ball again, just like you did? Even just a little tiny bit. That would be wonderful. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god! What was that? Dude, something just showed up in that photo. It was a freaking figure. It was standing right there. Standing right by the freaking tombstone. Holy sh**. Oh my god. Holy crap, dude. It was literally just standing there. Vivid. It looked like a little kid. Short in stature. It was almost as tall as this freaking gravestone. I'm sorry, I hope I didn't scare you. You just kind of scared me a little bit. Oh my freaking god. I want to look back at that photo, but I want to keep taking them just in case something else shows up. I think I'm going to take a look at it. Oh my god, there it is. There it is. Holy Dude, that's like a freaking figure. It literally looks like a child. Oh my god. It literally looks like a freaking child standing there. Except it's like non-physical. Like a spirit. Oh my god, that is absolutely insane. Holy crap. I have got goosebumps everywhere right now. No way! No way! No way! It freaking just rolled over there now! Holy shit!
This was the moment Ian decided he'd gone far enough. He left the cemetery unsettled and unsure if he had just crossed paths with the woman in white herself, or if it was the restless spirits of her children reaching out through the silence. Either way, one thing is clear. Something still lingers here, and it doesn't want to be forgotten. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a guy named Jay when he and his cousins went to a cemetery. Watch this.
Imagine somebody just walks in.
It's church time. Come inside.
What, you scared me?
Come on, let's go, guys. Oh, I thought that was a flower.
Where?
Are you recording?
Yes. No, yeah, I heard that.
No, but no, you heard that, right?
According to Jay, when they reviewed the video again, he swore he heard a voice that didn't sound like any of them, almost like someone singing in the background. And then came the faint squeak of what sounded like a chair shifting across the ground. That's when they realized this wasn't just their imagination, the place was different. But what do you really expect from a cemetery, especially one like this? Locals say years ago a caretaker lived on the grounds and was found dead in his small office, slumped over in his chair, and some still claim they hear it creaking late at night. Others whisper about a woman who wanders between the headstones humming lullabies, searching for the grave of the child she lost. Some even claim to have heard names being called in voices they recognize, only to turn around and find no one there. With all of those tales already surrounding this graveyard, Jay can't help but wonder if what they captured is another piece of the puzzle, or just coincidence. What do you think? This next video was captured by a woman named Ayers, who's become known online for recording the weird things that happen around her house. At first, it was small, coins spinning on end in the middle of a table with no breeze, a framed photo sliding slowly across a mantle, but over the years, the activity grew stranger and, at times, frighteningly violent. One night, a stack of plates toppled as if shoved by an invisible hand. Another time, a lamp was flung across the room and smashed against the wall. This time, whatever was in the house focused its attention on a single spot and the camera caught every second. Have a look.
There you go, see? And who saw it? I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, I don't know if you got that then, but it sounded like a bit of a growl. I'm not scared here. Guys, are you seeing that? It's not me, look. There's nothing there. I'm keeping it there because I don't want to get my kids' pictures on. What the fuck? Oh, Christ. Sorry, Lord. Why are you moving my flowers now? By your own. looks like you've rearranged them. How bizarre. My little girl got me those, and I've had them for years. So please don't wreck them. Oh, that is messed up. That's crazy. Hello? Do you want to give me a message? Is there anything you want to tell me? Who are ya? Oh, I've got a bit of a tap. I don't know if I picked that up. If you are my father... Oh. See, this is why my head starts to go peeps, because every time I mention my dad, bad things start to happen. And it's like he's really trying to... I don't know. I just can't understand it myself. If it's you, Dad, do something again, please. It's just some plastic flowers, they're not even real. Seems to be gone now. I'll upload that, guys, and give me a comments and likes and tell me what you think. Bizarre.
Ayres admits the activity often spikes the moment she starts talking about her dad, a pattern she finds impossible to ignore. Skeptics say coincidence and camera tricks can explain a lot, but when movements become aggressive, it's harder to chalk it all up to gravity or a loose shelf. That raises a painful question she's had whispered back to her by viewers. If this is her dad trying to reach out, why would a loved one's spirit act like this? Why the anger, the sharpness of the movements, the times when it seems to be trying to get her attention rather than comfort her? The theories keep stacking. A number of viewers claim they've seen what looks like a Ouija board tucked away in a corner of one clip, a detail some say Ayres never mentioned. That possibility changes the tone. If there's been an attempted communication device in the house, maybe whatever answers came back weren't friendly. Others suggest a pendulum effect, that an invitation was made and something latched on. This is where things start to get pretty creepy. There's even older footage. Ayres posted a clip all the way back in 2014 showing the same kind of unexplained motion. That long timeline makes this harder to dismiss as a single prank or a one-off glitch. Have a look.
Is that it? I'm doing it all night, come on. Give me a break. What do you want? Guys, are you seeing it? Whoa. How is that possible? Come on, it's in a jar. At least they didn't lie to me. Cheers for that. Thank you. I am shaking.
So, if objects have been moving in inexplicable, often aggressive ways in your home for years, what could that mean? It could point to a persistent haunting, a presence that's attached to the location. It could be poltergeist-like activity tied to repeated emotional turmoil in the household. Or it could mean someone opened a door spiritually long ago and whatever came through never left. But like the other clips, I'll leave you to decide. It can seem cute when kids talk about having an imaginary friend they like to spend time with, but the moment they start panicking, pointing into thin air, or acting terrified at things no one else can see, that's when the situation takes a darker turn. And that's exactly what the mother in this next clip has been facing. Watch this.
Where's Halloween?
I know.
Show me.
There.
When?
There.
Go over there and show me.
I'll hug.
Where?
There. Home. House. Go.
What is it?
Ghost.
She explained that she didn't post the video for attention, but out of real concern, hoping for advice. According to her, it's no longer just about bedtime stories or playful chatter. The child wakes up several times in the night, screaming as if something is right there in the dark. For a parent, it's terrifying, not knowing if this is all imagination, a sign of something psychological, or something much more unexplainable. And the more it happens, the harder it becomes for her to convince herself that nothing unusual is going on. Looking back, the mother admits this isn't the first time something strange has happened. A few months earlier, she would hear faint footsteps moving through the hallway at night when everyone else was asleep. She never thought much of it until her child began pointing to that same hallway, insisting there was someone there. Now, she can't shake the feeling that she might be overlooking something much bigger, so here's the question. What would you do if you were in her place? This next clip was posted by a woman whose mother runs a small in-home daycare. One afternoon, while the kids were playing, one little boy suddenly screamed and the moment was caught on the daycare's camera. But what the family discovered when they reviewed the footage later is what turned nervous laughter into real fear. Watch this.
Were you in there? Were you in there? No. Who knocked this over? Who knocked this over? Maybe it was just yeah, what was it done?
It can't just be coincidence that the playhouse toppled right after the boy ran out screaming. And from the way he screamed, it's clear he saw something. That kind of scream isn't the sound of a stubbed toe or a toy gone wrong. It's the sound a child makes when something deeply instinctive tells them to run. Nobody could explain it at the time, but later the video was replayed, this time frame by frame, until someone noticed a detail almost hidden in the shadows. Watch again. Look closely at the doorway. When the footage was slowed down and zoomed, you can clearly make out a pair of pale hands gripping the doorway, then retreating back into the room right after the child lets out that piercing scream. as if whatever it was reacted to him running. Now, after seeing several comments and questions, the daycare owner's daughter posted this video.
I wanted to quickly show you exactly what it was that was scaring the little kid that my mom was watching. So pretty much, so firstly we have the house, and obviously you guys saw that it fell, but the other thing I wanted to point out was that it's pretty hefty, so it really doesn't make any sense that it would just fall on its own like that. So that's just something I wanted to point out. And this is the room. The crazy thing about this is that there was like markings at the top of the entranceway of like the doorway, and I guess in the video you can see hands gripping onto the doorway. I don't really know what to make of that. I thought at first that it was like bugs or something like that, but it looked almost like two hands like gripping on the top, like leading into this room, just like. But the main thing, and the reason that the little boy was screaming, is actually in here. We have this covered up for a reason. Apparently, the little boy told my mom that he saw a face in these mirrors. We already found someone who's going to take it off our hands and pick it up off Facebook Marketplace, but we have been keeping this room off limits.
They tried to get the boy to describe the face he saw, but he couldn't. He just screamed and would only say it was bad. To prevent this from happening again, they covered the mirror with a sheet so the other kids wouldn't be spooked and kept that room off limits while they investigated.
Sorry about the squeaking. I'm sitting on like this little, it's like a swing thing. I don't know. So my mom runs a daycare, as you probably like guessed. She's had it for a couple years now, a good while. She's pretty established with it. I wasn't home, I was out doing groceries, so I actually didn't see it in person. Okay, I came home and my mom showed me the video and I was like, oh my god. So the kids came in, everything was fine, and my mom went to go grab something from the living room. And then she heard the kids screaming and ran over, you know, just like immediately ran back. I mean, she's great at what she does, so obviously she did that. And yeah, so obviously she didn't know at the time. She really just thought like one of the kids had knocked it over, because I guess they were kind of rowdy earlier too, so she genuinely thought that they knocked it over. That's why she's like, you look at the footage, I mean, you guys saw it, like it literally just. So to me, at first when she was telling me, I was like, oh, that's kind of spooky, you know, but like I didn't really think anything of it. But then when I was like watching the video, it kind of really freaked me out. So yeah.
They tried to come up with normal explanations, maybe a camera glitch, perhaps a bug on the lens, or a doll's reflection catching the light, but many viewers disagreed. And then this next clip made people stop arguing about optics.
That's creepy. Do it again. Like, yeah, okay. Do it again. I'll wait. Do it again. Open the gate.
This time the child safety gate opens on its own on camera, and if you watch closely, something presses out against the sheet, like fingers pushing from the other side. The terrifying thing is, there shouldn't be another side. under the sheet sits only a vanity mirror. There are no moving parts, no hidden compartment, nothing that should be able to press out against fabric like that. They still have no idea what was underneath the sheet, and they realized they needed to act fast for the kids' safety.
That we're gonna keep the room closed off from the kiddos for now so they can play in the rest of the space. We actually are going to go ahead and get rid of the vanity. We put it on Facebook Marketplace. Obviously we told them like, hey, like, we think that this is responsible for some weird haunting stuff. They said they were fine with it, so I don't know. This is closed off for now, so the kids are just gonna stay here and not in there anymore until we get this figured out.
The daycare owner is terrified, not just for herself, but for the parents who trust her. And she's desperately trying to figure out if this is a natural hazard, a prank that got out of hand, or something far darker. They've asked viewers for advice and haven't ruled out temporarily closing the daycare if a definitive safety risk is found. But until there's an explanation, or they post new videos, this remains a mystery. This first video was recorded by a nurse back in 2019, inside a care center, when a resident specifically asked her to film while cleansing a room they called the death room. The idea was simple: show the others there was nothing spooky about it so they'd finally stop being scared to go in. But in the end, the video never got used. And after you see what she caught, you'll understand why. Have a look.
Father, I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home of any negativity, fear, or unrest. Let peace dwell in every corner and love be the foundation of every wall. Bless this home with your protection, surrounding it with your angels, and shielding it from harm and evil. May every door be a passage to your grace, and a window open to your blessings. In Jesus' name.
This room already had a pretty dark history. A lot of residents had passed away in here, and weirdly, people say whenever someone stays in this room, they either get really sick or pass away within a month or two. On top of that, staff have talked about strange noises, sudden cold spots, even objects moving when no one's near them. No wonder the seniors started calling it the death room. And if you look closely at the footage, you'll notice the rosary suddenly moved, but not in a gentle sway. It snaps upward, like someone actually yanked it. Sure, you could say maybe the woman moved her arm and made it shift, but in the clip her body doesn't move at all. Which is exactly why, even today, nobody wants to stay in that room, and this one still has people wondering, what really happened here? In this next clip, two roommates were woken up in the middle of the night by the sound of things scattering in the kitchen. Now, this wasn't the first time they'd heard it, so instead of just brushing it off, they grabbed a camera and went to check it out. But here's the strange part. By the time they walked into the kitchen, everything was dead quiet. No clattering, no movement, nothing. And just like every other time this had happened, they figured it was probably a rat. Until this happened.
Experiencia paranormal enviada por suscriptor.
Hermano, están penando brígido. Pues ojalá pase de nuevo, weón. Mueve el vaso. Por favor. Te desafío a que muevas el vaso. ¿Puedes mover el vaso? ¡Conchetumare!
After seeing that, they started piecing together all the other weird moments they'd had in the apartment. Glasses shifting on their own, utensils clinking when no one was near the counter, even hearing what sounded like faint footsteps when they were the only ones home. Now, some people tried to debunk this one by saying maybe there was soap in the sink that made the glass slide. But if you listen closely, you can hear it scraping along the bottom. And if it had been soap, it wouldn't have made that sound. So what do you think? Did they jump to conclusions too fast, or was this one actually paranormal? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, in this next clip, a woman named Kyla was walking home late at night with a friend when they noticed something strange up ahead. Watch.
That guy made me feel suspicious about a woman being trapped in there.
You think somebody's trapped in there? You think they're saying SOS?
Yeah, like help me. I don't want to be.
But it stopped when I walked down there. What happens if I walk down there? I'm gonna walk down there. I'm gonna walk down there. What's gonna happen if I walk down here?
Ah, come on!
Still nothing. Jesse! It stopped! Jesse, it stopped! Jesse, it stopped! Okay. Light. Oh!
The light kept blinking, almost like it was signaling for help. But here's the creepy part. When Kyla got close enough, it stopped. Some people argue this isn't paranormal at all. They say it could have been faulty, and honestly, they make sense. But others swear it felt too intentional to be random, almost like someone or something was trying to get her attention. The way the light blinked steadily, almost in rhythm, before shutting off the second she walked closer, it felt more like a response than an accident, almost like something wanted her to see it, but not get too close. So is this just a case of bad wiring, or did Kyla stumble across something she was never meant to see? You decide. What do you do when your own home, your safe place, starts acting like the enemy? That's exactly what Jorge, the guy in this next video, is dealing with. He tried everything he was told to do. Pray more, show no fear. In the name of Jesus, claim authority over this house, they told him. And that's exactly what he did. Jorge prayed aloud, he read scripture, he kept up the rituals the way he'd been told. At first, it seemed like it worked. The noise would die down, the house would go quiet, like someone had pressed pause. But that silence never lasted long. It got almost too quiet, like the calm right before something bad happens. And then, when he least expected it, something would happen. Watch this.
Yo, I just woke up. Yo, there's this. Shit. Oh shit. Oh. There's something going on out there. Something walking around. Fuck. There's something clearly up there. It looks like it's approaching this way. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh. Fuck. Oh. Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh fuck.
This became almost traumatizing for him because most of the activity hits while he's sleeping. He woke up some nights with scratches on his arms, objects moved, a dark pressure in the room, and most times he wished it was a nightmare, but it wasn't. This clip is from one of those rare nights he had a GoPro rolling, and he says this time felt different. He describes the air like it was thick and charged. heavy enough that it felt like it could press you to the floor. He says it didn't feel like something passing through, it felt like something staying, watching, waiting to do harm. After years of just having to deal with the feeling alone, he hears them every day now. And the worst part is, he's starting to wonder if his prayers actually did anything, or if they somehow made things worse. So, what do you think? Did his faith push it away, or pull it closer? I'll leave that one up to you. The following video was captured about 20 years ago by a man who lived in a flat that was built on the same ground where the old gallows once stood. From the moment he moved in, he's had that constant uneasy feeling of being watched. One night, he finally caught something weird happening. Watch this.
Has it started again? Just stopped. Away again. Explain that. That's freaky. Is anybody there? Oh, fuck that.
He wasn't the only one who felt that way either. Other tenants talked about hearing heavy footsteps pacing the corridors at night, and one neighbor even claimed she'd woken up to see a shadowy figure standing by her window. The shape of a man, head bent slightly forward, like he had a noose around his neck. This clip might not seem that crazy now, but back then, it terrified everyone who saw it. After he posted it, more people who had lived in that same building began sharing their own stories. Things they'd buried for years because they thought no one would believe them. Skeptics would have their usual explanations, but for the man who recorded this and the neighbors who lived through it, there was no question about it. Now, in this next clip, a dad shares a seriously disturbing video he captured after weeks of strange comments from his son. The boy would randomly say things like, "Dad, I saw a man in the room." Sometimes it was the bedroom, other times the corridor, and once he even said the man was in the kitchen. At first, the dad brushed it off, thinking his son was just being playful or had an overactive imagination. But then little signs started popping up that made him wonder if maybe his son wasn't imagining things at all. Toys were showing up in weird places, doors that were definitely shut would be open in the morning, and sometimes he'd catch his son staring at an empty corner of the room, his eyes following something invisible. That's when he decided to take it seriously. He went around checking every lock and window, making sure no one could sneak in. He even installed cameras in the house just to be sure, and one night, the footage captured something he still can't explain. Watch this. You can see a white figure standing there before it disappears, and you see all the doors were locked, nothing was tampered with, and there was no sign of a break-in. He's trying hard not to jump to the conclusion that his house is haunted. That's why he posted the clip online, hoping for a rational explanation. Some people suggested maybe it's a lost loved one keeping an eye on his son, but even that idea unsettles him, because if it is a spirit, friendly or not, why does it keep showing up? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Ever since this next clip was posted online, the debate of paranormal or not has been going strong. But before you pick a side, here's the backstory. The woman who shared this says for weeks now, previous tenants had moved out in such a hurry. They didn't take their curtains, their mail kept showing up, and according to a neighbor, they left in the middle of the night after something happened. No one ever said what. A few weeks later, this happened. Watch.
It wasn't even that. That door was completely latched. I heard the latch click and then open. Listen. This. And then it just opened. And I was standing on that stair. So I was like, called my daughter, no answer. Called my mom, no answer. My mom is literally in bed. My daughter is literally in her apartment. This is like a farmer's latch, okay? Nobody can explain. I hope nobody followed me in the house and they're hiding behind the recliner or some shit. See how I latched it? Listen. Pull it hard. Latch. Go. Very bizarre. It's never happened in 47 years. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling.
She says she was home alone. No wind, no one outside, nothing that could explain it. And ever since that night, she hasn't been able to stop thinking about it. Now, here's where the debate really starts. Some viewers say there's no reason to panic unless the dog panics. And in this clip, the dog seems perfectly calm. So to them, this couldn't possibly be paranormal. But the other side of the argument is much more convincing. They believe the incident she's describing, the door unlatching and opening, actually happened before she started recording, meaning whatever caused it had already come and gone. So of course, the dog looks calm now. So which of this do you agree with, and why? In this next clip, a man had to set up 2 cameras, plus a real-time EVP and a paranormal communication app, all in just one room, because of the insane stuff happening in there. Take a look.
I lived here. Buried. Up here. She's hiding. Key.
You go.
Retrospect. 22.
You'll notice the top drawer of the desk slides open and shuts on its own, then the pen holder rattles and moves. Moments later, the ceiling light above starts swinging like a pendulum, even though nothing in the room is moving. In the background, there's a faint banging sound, and you can clearly hear the EVP pick up a chilling phrase. I lived here, but that wasn't the end. Right before the EVP said up here, faint scratching sounds came through the mic. And then the part that made some viewers freeze. A shadow figure briefly appeared. Most people would have left it at that, but this clip kept going. The lights began flicking on and off by themselves. The chair slowly turned, and even the heavy armchair against the wall moved. After posting this clip online, viewers urged him to research the property's history. The only thing he found was that the house sat on what used to be dense forest land. No cemeteries, no known murders, no documented tragedies, just endless trees. Some think that's exactly the point, that the forest itself held onto something, and when it was cleared for houses, it stayed behind, trapped. Others argue there's a hidden story about the land no one's uncovered yet. For now, the connection between the activity in his home and the land it sits on remains a mystery. This next video was captured by a woman who finally had to speak out about the constant wall knocking she's been dealing with for weeks. Listen closely. At first, you'd probably think it's just someone working with a hammer, but here's the weird part. This wall doesn't connect to any other room or house. It's an exterior wall facing straight into her backyard. And at the time of the recording, no one was outside, no construction was happening, nothing. She even explained that her windows were shut, no breeze in the house, nothing loose that could rattle or bang. And although the video doesn't quite capture it, she says that in real life, the sound was coming from right beside her ear, inside the wall, not above or below. She tried looking it up online and found answers like water pipes, but no faucets or showers were running, and she has no pipes at all running through that section of the wall. Maybe it's a rodent, but to her it didn't sound like scratching or chewing. It sounded like a human hand knocking. And now, with her house turning 100 years old this year, she can't help but wonder if something, or someone, from its past is still trying to make itself heard. But, like always, I'll leave it to you to decide. Construction, coincidence, or something else entirely. In this next clip, an explorer went on a ghost hunt at the Randolph County Infirmary, a place once home to the poor, the mentally ill, and the elderly. Over the years, visitors have reported all kinds of strange experiences here, and during his visit, this explorer captured something on camera that's still hard to explain to this day. Take a look.
Wait, did you really do that? Did you hear something? Go, come on. Who is it?
Some believe what we're seeing is the ghost of a former patient, maybe someone confused, lost, or simply reliving a moment from their time there. But others think that explanation doesn't make much sense. Why would a ghost run? Some viewers argue that spirits tied to trauma or panic often replay their final moments, like a loop of energy trapped in time, which could explain the movement. So, what do you think? Is this energy from the past still trapped in those halls, or just another case of the mind trying to make sense of something it can't explain? You've probably come across the video of the lady in this next clip, Silva, sharing her story on this channel about how the devices in her house suddenly started malfunctioning even when they were completely unplugged. She's also said this isn't the first time. According to Silva, the house she lived in before this one had strange things happening too, but back then, it wasn't the electronics. Watch this. You can see the blanket moving in a strange way, and judging by the dog's reaction, something was definitely not right. But the part that really made Silva panic was when her dog stopped barking and started growling, a sign even animals were on edge. Watch this. Now, in her new apartment with the appliances acting up, Silva's starting to think she'll never get it right when it comes to choosing a home. But is that really the case? You decide. The following clip was captured by a public security camera in Argentina on the night of August 22nd, 2025. Watch this. You can see the person walking down the street, and then, out of nowhere, they just disappear. The next morning, one of the security guards reviewing the footage thought his eyes were playing tricks on him, but after showing his colleagues, they all saw it too. Before long, the clip was making the rounds, and people were freaking out. That's when the rumors started. Some said it was the ghost of someone who died right there on that spot. Others said it was a warning, maybe a sign that something bad was about to happen. And of course, others thought it was nothing more than a camera glitch or a hoax, but no one could explain how the figure moved so naturally before fading away. And here's the thing, Belgrano Avenue in Tucumán already has a bit of a reputation. People in the nearby Barrio Belgrano area have talked for years about hearing a woman sobbing between 3 and 4 a.m., sometimes right outside their homes, sometimes down the road, like she's wandering. The sound never stays in one place, and no one's ever been brave enough to go find out who or what it is. So when this clip surfaced, it didn't take much for everyone to connect the dots. But like always, I'll let you decide what you think really happened here. Now, this next clip might remind you of a video we've shared here before. The woman with that creepy Elmo balloon that somehow climbs the stairs on its own and freaks her pets out. Since that first incident, her dogs have completely refused to come back inside the house, and even her cat acts strange whenever it's near the balloon. Restless, agitated, and constantly staring at it like it's alive. And if you remember, she also mentioned that someone once told her not to pop the balloon. According to them, whatever is trapped inside it would be released if she did. And that if she tried, the entity could either turn aggressive or attach itself to something else in her home. So instead of taking that risk, she's been recording everything that seems out of the ordinary. Watch this. Now, it's not just the strange movements anymore. If you listen closely, there's this faint moan in the background. And at first, she thought it was her pipes acting up. But with everything else that's been happening in that house, she's not so sure anymore. One night, around 9:27 p.m., things got worse. She and her husband heard knocking sounds again, loud and deliberate. Thinking it was someone at the door, they went downstairs, but no one was there. And that's when they realized the sound wasn't coming from outside at all. Watch this. It was coming from the same spot as before, right below the basement floor. After posting this clip, viewers had all kinds of theories, but one comment in particular really unsettled her. The person pointed out that 3 knocks or 3 scratches are often considered a demonic sign, a mockery of the Holy Trinity. And what made it worse? She admitted that she knocked back. Now everyone's divided on what's really going on here. Some believe there's something in that house using the Elmo balloon as a vessel, moving it around to get attention. Others think the balloon isn't the problem at all. It might actually be trying to warn her about whatever is lurking in that basement. Then there's a third theory, the more controversial one, that the entity might have attached itself to her, not the balloon, and that everything she's recording is only happening because it wants her to notice. Whatever the case may be, everyone watching seems to have their own theory. So which one do you believe? Is this a haunting, a warning, or something entirely explainable? The following video was recorded by a woman who had started noticing some really odd changes in her dog's behavior. It wasn't the usual dog barking at a shadow thing. This time, her pet seemed genuinely disturbed by something she couldn't see. Out of confusion and concern, she decided to start recording and posting what she was experiencing, hoping someone online could help her make sense of it. Watch this.
So, I'm recording this just in the off chance that no one believes me. Maybe I can catch it. And by the way, I have a freaking cemetery in my front yard, which probably doesn't help my cause. But I was just inside, I'm by myself with my dog. She's up in that room upstairs. You can really hear her working from here. That has me really freaked out. Josie? Josie? Yeah, she's just been staring at that, and then she started barking, and she growled, and when she growled, I kind of like booked it, but I don't really know, like, that's usually like her stance while she's waiting for me to come home, and I'm just like, is she waiting for someone to walk out of that closet? Like,
Now, let's be honest. The fact that there's a cemetery literally in her compound changes everything. It doesn't just make it creepy, it makes it deeply unsettling. Because suddenly, this isn't just about a dog reacting weirdly. There's history, there's energy, there's a place where people are buried, right where she lives. And that gives a whole new meaning to what's going on here. Some believe the dog might be reacting to the spirits of those buried there, maybe ones that haven't fully moved on. When she moved closer to the closet, this is what she saw.
I just don't really know what she's staring at. Because again, like, this is usually how she looks when she's waiting for me to come in, and I'm just like, what? What is it? What is it?
There was nothing there. Still, if you look closely, you can tell from the dog's expression that it saw something. Then came the next video, and this one had everyone's skin crawling. Watch this.
See, this is what I'm talking about. They literally just come and hang out here all the time now. It's a newer development. Like, why? They just kind of come and literally breathe around this area. And they just kind of will freeze and won't move. So, yeah. What's up?
Out of nowhere, a group of cows wandered into the graveside. But instead of grazing or walking around, they gathered around and stood there, completely still, almost like they were drawn to that spot. And not just that, they seemed to form a loose circle around it. For several minutes they didn't move, they just stood there, facing the same direction. The woman said they stayed that way for so long that it started to feel like they were performing some kind of ritual, or maybe guarding something. That scene alone sent the internet into overdrive. Comments started flooding in, everything from "this is definitely demonic" to "the cows are sensing energy from below." Some even said animals often behave strangely near haunted areas because they act as spiritual sensors. But then the woman posted an update that completely flipped everyone's theory. She said she actually knows the people buried there. The graves belong to her grandparents, and according to her, it was their wish to be buried on the property with their beloved cats. And that one detail threw everyone off, because suddenly this wasn't about some random haunting, it was about something personal. So if it's her grandparents buried there, what are the animals reacting to? Some believe her grandparents' spirits might still be around, trying to protect her. Others think the presence of the cats could be attracting energy or even creating a kind of spiritual link between the living and the dead. Things took another turn when she lost sight of her dog one night. She searched the house, called out, even checked corners until she finally found her in the last place she expected.
Josie. Josie, what's going on?
The dog was there by the graveside, perfectly still, just staring at something. She said it didn't growl or bark. It just watched, frozen. And that's when she said the uneasy feeling she'd been trying to ignore hit her all at once. Something wasn't right, but it didn't end there. There was another time she went out to collect food from a delivery driver, and right after stepping out the door, this happened. Watch.
Oh my god. Hi.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See, this is what I'm talking about. Every freaking night, like even at night, they even come and hang out here, and they just like stand and like. Are you for real right now?
By this point, even people who were skeptical began to wonder if there was more to her story, and as if things weren't weird enough, she later shared another video that added an even stranger layer to the story.
Well, that's not creepy. Seriously, what are you two looking at? What is it? What is it? I don't know.
Now, it wasn't just her dog or the cows. Horses were drawn toward the same area. And when you've got dogs, cows, and horses all acting the same way, focused on the same spot, it's hard not to wonder what's really pulling their attention. Maybe it's her grandparents still watching over her, maybe it's something else entirely. But until she shares another update, this one remains one of those stories that gets under your skin and stays there. Because whatever's in that graveyard, it clearly isn't resting easy. Now, if you know Ian, the Midwest ghost hunter, then you already know he's the kind of guy who'll go anywhere people say you shouldn't. And on May 25th, 2025, he decided to explore one of the creepiest spots on his list, the old Berlin tannery factory. Built back in 1853, this place used to be the pride of a small industrial town, but after it shut down, it didn't exactly stay quiet. Over time, people started whispering about strange things, like weird symbols found in the basement, figures moving across the catwalks, and lights flickering in rooms that haven't had power in years. Locals say the factory's haunted by a little ghost girl named Megan who's often seen running through the corridors at night, but the most unsettling story is about a spirit they call the Toucher. Visitors claim it scratches, grabs, or brushes against them when they're alone. Some even believe the building holds a portal that lets something through, something that was never meant to cross over. Still, none of that stopped Ian. He had to see it for himself, and at first everything seemed calm, just another abandoned building, until this happened.
It's terrifying. Oh God. Oh shit. All right, I want out of here. Dude, it just freaking touched me. I felt a cold hand run right up my back. Oh God, that was absolutely terrifying. Just stay calm. Just stay calm. What? That door just shut. Oh, oh no. Oh no. I am not going to be stuck in here. Please. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, it just tried to shut me in here. Like trap me. With it. No, I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that game. I'm going to stand in this doorway. This is the last time I'm coming in this room.
You can tell by his reaction that something was definitely in that room. Whatever it was, it didn't want him there. And for someone like Ian to admit that the place felt wrong, that says a lot. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. This first clip was recorded by a woman during her night shift at work. But before you watch the clip, here's a little backstory. When she first started this job, she kept hearing her coworkers whispering about the place being haunted. The story goes that people have seen a little boy wandering around, always carrying a red balloon. And every once in a while, that same red balloon shows up out of nowhere. At first, she brushed it off as just creepy workplace gossip, until the night she captured this.
The only one that's doing it.
And there's no vents or like.
No, that's the only one that's doing it. That's creepy. It's going all the fucking way out, Janelle. Look at that. God, that's trippy.
Now here's where it gets weird. She later admitted this wasn't the first time she'd noticed strange things happening. Sometimes doors would creak open with no one around, or she'd hear faint footsteps down the hall when she was working alone. But the balloon, that was the detail that kept coming back. Apparently, whenever balloons were needed at work, like for parties or events, only the red one ever acted strange. It would drift in unnatural ways, moving against the air or separating itself from the bunch and floating into empty rooms. No other balloon, just the red one. So when she finally caught it on camera, she couldn't help but connect it to what everyone had been saying all along. So was this really the spirit of that little boy? Or is there some other explanation behind why that red balloon always seems to have a mind of its own? Let me know what you think. This next video comes from a woman named Kay, who works in a nursing home. She's been there about 5 years, and until recently, nothing out of the ordinary had ever happened on her shift. But one night while she was working late, something happened that she couldn't explain.
8:03. So we're gonna go to 8:03. Literally, no one in here. Nada. Tell me why. And I've turned off all these call lights. I think I'm just gonna keep the lights on for the time being, because I'm probably gonna have to keep coming in here. But literally, they're like the buttons aren't even lighting up in here. It's just alarming outside in the hallway that there's somebody in here pushing it. And we've been in here twice now.
Her coworkers told her not to worry about it. They said it was probably just a short in the circuit, old wiring, lights flickering, that kind of thing. But Kay didn't buy it. Something about the way it happened just didn't sit right with her. So she started asking questions, and what she found out made her even more uneasy. Turns out, someone had actually passed away in that very room about a year earlier, and ever since then, the room has been completely empty. No new residents were placed there, and that begged the question, why leave a perfectly good room unused for so long? When Kay pushed a little harder, her colleagues finally admitted the truth. After the death, they did try to move new residents in, but every single one of them complained about strange things happening. Some said they felt like someone was standing in the room with them, others said they heard whispers or footsteps at night, and one even said they saw a figure at the foot of the bed. The stories got so frequent and unsettling that management eventually decided to stop using the room altogether. And of course, they never told the other residents. No one wanted panic spreading through the home. Instead, they came up with logical excuses to calm people down. It was just the old pipes, or drafts moving the curtains, or maybe side effects from medication. But the nurses who worked those shifts knew better. They felt it too. The heaviness in the air, that uncomfortable feeling that the room wasn't really empty. So now the door stays closed, no one goes in, no one gets assigned there, and everyone quietly hopes that whatever's in that room stays put, and doesn't start showing up in other places. Now, in this next video, a security guard named Alex Nunez captured something undeniably creepy while working the night shift at the SF Armory. Check this out.
Oh, hell no. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I'm here in this building by myself, bruh. By myself.
Alex has been saying for a while that this building is strange, but this time he finally had something on camera to back it up. And honestly, it's easy to understand his frustration. I mean, security guards are trained to deal with break-ins, trespassers, or maybe the occasional wild animal sneaking in. But how do you prepare for something you can't even see? According to Alex, those two doors that opened are heavy, way too heavy for a draft to move them. That's why when he shared this video online, people had all kinds of theories. Some think it's a classic case of residual energy, maybe tied to the Armory's long history. Others believe it could be an actual spirit, trying to make its presence known. And of course, a few skeptics insist it's all just a setup, or maybe some kind of mechanical fault. So, could this be real evidence of a haunting inside the SF Armory? Or is there another explanation? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, we'll all agree that security cameras are supposed to give us peace of mind. They're meant to catch movement, keep a record, and make you feel safe in your own home. But what happens when the cameras don't pick up a single thing moving? Yet when you turn on the audio, you hear footsteps, banging, and even voices that shouldn't be there. That's exactly what the family in this next clip has been dealing with almost every single day. Listen closely. According to the mother who posted this, the activity isn't always this intense, but she says it always gets worse during a certain time of the year, the anniversary of when a child tragically passed away inside that same house, long before she ever rented it. She's described nights when the family would jolt awake to heavy banging on the doors, lasting for nearly 20 minutes straight before suddenly stopping. Other times, they'll hear the sound of small footsteps running across the upstairs hallway, even though no one's there. For the family, it's reached a point where they can't brush it off as house noises anymore, especially when the cameras stay visually empty, but the audio tells a completely different story. So what do you think? Is this lingering spirit activity tied to that child's tragic past? Or could there be another reason why their home comes alive with sounds no one can explain? In this next clip, a man named Sean Austin recorded something strange coming from his ceiling late at night. Listen.
I just heard 2 ridiculous taps on the ceiling. Very loud. It is 8:39 at night. I do not believe anyone would be... is that? I don't know if that's an animal or what the hell that is exactly, but have been having weird things happen here on and off. I'm going to be going live here tonight and see what else kind of weird things happen. I do not know what that noise is, if it's an animal or natural noise, but that just happened out of nowhere. I've never heard that before. So let's find out what that's all about. I've never heard that noise before.
Now, Sean lives on the top floor, so the only explanation he can really think of is an animal. Maybe a raccoon, a squirrel, or something else that somehow found its way up there. But even he admits the taps were unusually loud, almost like something was intentionally tapping rather than just scurrying around. Of course, once he posted the video online, people came up with all sorts of other ideas. Some said it sounded more like footsteps than an animal, as if someone was pacing back and forth directly above his head. Others suggested it could be poltergeist activity, a spirit trying to get his attention in the only way it could. A few even brought up darker theories, pointing out that consistent tapping or knocking is often said to be a sign of something trying to make contact. For Sean, all of that sounds a little far-fetched. But what unsettles him most is the fact that he's lived in that place for years and never once has he heard anything like it before. He's still investigating, so until he posts an update, this remains unsolved. This next video starts out looking silly. A simple Elmo balloon standing still, but the moment it begins to do the unthinkable, the tone changes completely.
Gabe. Quiet. Quiet.
Instead of drifting the way a balloon normally would, it looks like it's climbing step by step. You can even hear her dogs barking as if they're reacting to something she can't see. But then, the real chills came when the balloon suddenly stopped mid-step, almost as if it's aware of being watched. Now, she said herself she's never felt more tempted to pop a balloon in her life. And sure, Helium balloons can do weird things when they start to deflate. But here's the part that's hard to brush off. This Elmo balloon looks like it's actually moving its legs, and that's not how balloons behave. And it wasn't just the dogs reacting either. Even her cat seemed unsettled. Afterward, she revealed that her dogs have refused to come back into the house since the incident, and her cat acts restless and upset whenever it's near that balloon. That's when she started to feel real fear, because if even the animals won't go near it, what does that say? So why not just pop it and be done with it? Well, that's where it gets creepier. In her original video, she mentioned she couldn't wait to pop it until she saw a comment that made her blood run cold. It said, "If you pop it, whatever's inside will come out." That single thought has been haunting her ever since, so instead of getting rid of it, she's been trying to put precautionary things in place, just in case. She's also been recording every strange moment she can, just in case something happens. So, is this all just the weird physics of a helium balloon? Or is there really something inside that nobody wants to see released? You decide. The following video is about a lady with an unusual hobby, collecting haunted dolls. And they're not just for display. According to her, each doll carries the spirit of a person who once lived, and her goal is to communicate with them, to understand their stories and share them with her audience. She even claims to have traced one of the spirits to its actual grave, naming each doll after the person believed to be attached to it, almost like preserving their memory through these objects. One day, during one of her live sessions, something happened. Watch.
There's nothing out there. Even the cats are confused. We have had scratching on the wall before. We've had scratching on the wall before. That's, unless she does it too, but that's always my wall scratching. I have wall scratching a lot. This is like a regular thing in my house. Usually Deanna, but I don't know why. Done now.
Some of her followers actually support what she's doing, saying she's giving these restless spirits a voice, helping them find peace, and treating them with respect instead of fear. In fact, many of her fans have developed the same fascination, even reaching out to her for recommendations on which haunted dolls to get and how to connect with them safely. But not everyone sees it that way. Others warn that she could be inviting dark or deceptive entities into her home. Spirits that pretend to be harmless but might grow more aggressive over time. Some even fear she's accidentally creating a portal that could attach itself not just to her, but to anyone watching her live streams. But what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. In this next clip, an explorer visits one of America's most notoriously haunted sites, the Ohio State Reformatory. With over 200 recorded deaths within its walls, it's said the building still holds on to the pain, violence, and despair that once filled its cells. Also, the massive echoing cell blocks are rumored to be crawling with activity, and visitors claim to have seen shadowy figures drifting from one cell to another, heard faint snoring when no one else was around, and felt a crushing sense of dread the deeper they went inside. But perhaps the most feared spot of all is what locals call the chair room, a small, bare chamber believed to house a particularly malevolent entity. Those who dare to taunt or challenge the spirit often leave with unexplained scratches or bruises, as if something invisible lashed out at them. While exploring different sections of the prison, this explorer captured something chilling on camera. Watch.
What the? That's some creepy ass shit. Hold on, I want to see this shit. Ain't nothing. I am.
After posting the footage, others who had visited the Reformatory began flooding the comments, sharing different encounters, strange sounds, sudden cold spots, and the overwhelming feeling that someone, or something, was watching them from the darkness. Now, in this next video, a man named David has been living through something absolutely terrifying for the past few days, and it's hard to explain what's really going on. Take a look.
I'm home alone. I'm hearing my own voice upstairs. The door won't stop knocking, and there's nobody there. This door keeps banging. I thought I was hearing my voice. Nobody's there. Go away! Open the door. Ooh, that was right over my shoulder. Who's I'm giving you one chance to leave. I know what you're doing. It's not scaring me. It's not scaring anybody else. You need to leave now. Yeah, I got a feeling you're in this room, aren't you? Are you in here? This again. Okay. All right. If you're gonna play these games all night, I'm not gonna play. I'm not doing this. And now I hear the bathroom water on. Good grief. Get out.
At first glance, some might think this could be someone messing with him. But then, how is it possible for one person to be in different places at once? Doors slamming in separate rooms within seconds of each other, the doorbell ringing, a voice mimicking him from somewhere inside, and that strange image that appeared right at the door? Some people believe David could be dealing with a poltergeist, a spirit capable of manipulating sound, movement, and even imitating voices to confuse its target. Others think it could be a residual haunting, where intense energy from past trauma replays over and over. Doors banging, sounds echoing, like time itself repeating. But then there are those who say the mimic voice and that eerie image at the door suggests something far darker, an entity pretending to be human, trying to lure him closer. But what do you think David's really dealing with? In the following video, a man named Ethan steps outside after hearing soft meowing at his doorstep, only to find a stray cat sitting quietly outside. But what really rattled him wasn't the cat, it was what he saw next. Watch.
Oh gosh. So I got the stray cat out here, right? Now checking on it. This thing's cute as f***. And I look up. This shit. What the f***? I'm gonna go look over. You know, real quick. Y'all see it? Oh, y'all see that shit though? Is this disappearing?
There are a lot of angles to look at this from. Could it be that someone intentionally left the cat there, waiting to see if he'd come out? Or could the cat itself be something else, or maybe just a pawn used as a distraction for something far more sinister? Others think the cat might have even been possessed or influenced, perhaps drawn to the energy of something already lingering around his home. Another theory is that the cat wasn't there to lure him, it was there to warn him. And then there's the most unsettling part, the man standing in the distance. If we're being honest, none of these possibilities sound comforting. In fact, each one is its own kind of nightmare. But here's where it gets even stranger. Before the whole cat situation, Ethan had already been dealing with something creepy in his basement. Watch this.
I'm in the basement. I'm about to talk to this ghost or whatever it is. It's pretty scary. If you can't tell, my basement is scary as hell. But let's talk to it. Is there anybody in here? If you're in here, show yourself. Oh no, y'all see that? What the fuck? Hell no. Is that a fuck? Oh, oh hell no, hold up. Hold up. Is anybody in here? Oh hell no, I'm out. I'm out this place.
After people saw this clip, they started to take the entire situation more seriously. Some even advised him to try communicating with whatever presence might be connected to it. So one night, when he heard heavy footsteps circling his property, Ethan grabbed his rifle and stepped outside to confront, or maybe speak to, whatever was out there. This is what he saw.
So I got told to go talk to it. So I'm gonna go talk to it. It's dark as I can't see shit. I see a few trees. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's dark as yeah. And scary as hell. Oh hell no, what the is that? What the oh no.
Whatever he captured that night left more questions than answers. Theories range from a human intruder playing psychological games, to a spirit trying to manifest physically, or something darker that defies explanation altogether. But since that night, his account went silent, so until he provides updates or someone finds out what really happened, this case remains an unsettling mystery. In this next clip, a woman who recently bought an old house built in 1917 believes she's sharing her home with a ghost. Though, according to her, it's not a threatening one. The only reason she and her family installed cameras was to capture whatever happens when they're not around. One afternoon, while she was home with her daughter, the little girl suddenly called out, saying she heard a ghost inside the vent in the bathroom. Curious, the woman followed her in. Then, her daughter said, "Ghost, if you're here, do something." And almost immediately, they heard a loud sound coming from the kitchen. This is what the camera caught. Ever since she bought the house in 2023, she says at least 2 childlike spirits have revealed themselves, sometimes through soft giggles or the sound of running across the hall. And while she insists they're harmless and even protective of her daughter, not everyone agrees. Some viewers believe it's dangerous to assume that any spirit, especially one interacting with a child, has good intentions. Others think it could be something pretending to be innocent, something trying to earn their trust. Still, she remains calm and welcoming, saying the house feels peaceful. But is it really? Or could this be the calm before something much darker reveals itself? I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. Now in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This time, he went into the old bar area, a spot that's gained quite a reputation over the years. According to past guests and staff, glasses have been seen sliding across tables, chairs shifting slightly on their own, and faint laughter echoing long after midnight. While recording, Ian decided to set his camera down and let it roll quietly. For a few minutes, nothing happened, but then this happened. Watch.
Could you tell me who you are? Not hearing him again. That was so weird. I wonder what would even cause that. There hasn't been any rumbling in the building, like at all. So how would you explain that? Could you move one of these cups down here? Oh God. That came from back in the dining room. Holy crap. That freaking scared me. Whatever that was. Hello? Who's making noises in here? No way. No way that just moved. Did I really just see that? No way. No way. Dude, this glass just slid across the freaking table. Literally before my eyes. I've got goosebumps all over my arms right now. Holy moly. Oh my gosh.
The glass sitting perfectly still on the table suddenly slid, like someone unseen had just nudged it forward. But there was no one in the room, no visible vibration, and no airflow strong enough to cause that kind of motion. When Ian reviewed the footage, he was stunned. Some viewers think the spirit of Alice, the woman said to haunt the Argo, may have followed him from the basement, while others believe it's tied to a different tragedy that took place in the bar decades ago. Either way, one thing's clear. Whatever haunts the Argo Hotel doesn't seem ready to rest, and the stories about this place might just be true. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video is about Dustin, who you might remember from earlier features on this channel. Lately, his life has been anything but normal. For months now, he's been dealing with things most of us only read about. Dark figures that follow him, growls in empty rooms, and whispers that call his name. One night, while working an overnight shift, he caught something that made his skin crawl. Watch.
Chug the Red Bull because I don't like it. Is that moving?
He's called in friends, religious figures, even skeptics, and nothing has offered a permanent fix. The presence follows him to work, follows him home, and sometimes it feels like it's closer than the air around him. When he reviewed the footage from that night, he said something he'd never said before. He's scared to be alone. So what's going on with Dustin? There are a few schools of thought. Some say he's been attached to by a spirit that latched on during a traumatic moment or after an encounter he can't recall. Others argue he's an empathic magnet, the type of person who unintentionally draws paranormal energy because of sensitivity, lifestyle, or unresolved trauma. A third camp insists it's pattern recognition. Go to enough strange places and weird things will happen often enough to look like a trend. And there's the harder line. Are we looking at a ghost or something darker and more capable of harm? Whatever you call it, one thing is certain. This has become Dustin's reality. He's exhausted, he's scared, and he's running out of options that don't make him look crazy. So I'll leave it to you. Would you keep working those night shifts, call in paranormal investigators, move away, or try something else entirely? And if you've been through something similar, tell us what worked for you. This next clip is about a lady who went to the hospital one evening to do some decorating for an event that was scheduled early the next morning. She expected it to be quiet, empty, and uneventful, the kind of job you finish in peace before heading home, but what she captured that night says otherwise. Watch. According to her, she had been placed in a section of the hospital where no one was supposed to be, specifically so she could work without distractions. Yet, as she began setting up, she suddenly heard the faint but unmistakable sound of a baby crying. The cry echoed down the corridor, distant but clear enough, so she immediately checked with admin staff to see if there were any child patients admitted or visitors present that evening, but their response was no. She posted the video online hoping someone could give her an explanation she could live with, perhaps an audio glitch, or maybe noise carrying from another part of the hospital. But the timing and the fact that she was isolated makes that difficult to believe.